in your face, like really close to the camera, because I forgot my SD card for my audio equipment. So I need to make do with the mic right here on my camera, which isn't that great. So we'll make it work. Not ideal, but I think the message is still going to get across. So getting clarity and alignment on your design projects is probably one of the most important parts of your job as a designer. And as with most important things, it takes considerable time and is often not the easiest part of the job. But recently, I realized something. Well, I intuitively kind of knew, but I recently have been able to articulate it and repeat it. And it has been helping me out with that part of the job, making it much easier and much more productive. And I wanted to share that with you today in this video. Let me explain. So I thought back on a lot of the discussions I've had surrounding my design projects in the past. And I think I could break out these discussions into two different groups. So one group would be around utility and the other is around usability. And first, let's define these. Utility is about usefulness, about a product or a feature. And you're often talking about this when you're trying to roll out something new. And you're asking, is someone going to care if I design it or develop it? The other is about usability and really handles ease of use. And when you're trying to improve an existing feature or a product. And when you're in the thick of this collaboration mode and you're in the middle of a project, it's not really clear if everyone is talking about the right thing or if everyone is talking about the same thing. And in hindsight, I think being able to draw a thick line between usability and utility would have probably made these conversations much more productive and would have been much more effective for the project at hand. And once I realized this and finally could articulate all of this and reproduce some of these ideas into meetings that I'm having these days currently on some of the projects, it's been super helpful for me. And I wanted to share with you some more stuff on this so that you can apply it in your day-to-day. So I wanted to highlight 3 different scenarios that may apply to you, so you know what to look out for when you're trying to apply this concept. So first, when you get pulled into a project, you may be getting pulled in at various different stages of it. And obviously, depending on the stage, your conversation is going to sound different. Sometimes you may be pulled into a project and the utility piece of it has already been extensively worked out, maybe by another team or a different designer. And when you look at the material, you realize you have all the elements you need to focus on the usability piece of it. And now you're confident that you can execute on the project, deliver on that design need. But of course, there's going to be scenarios where you're brought in to really work out the usability of a feature or a product, and you realize you may have to rehash the utility of it again, and that may be the most value add contribution that you can make to the team. So 2, as a designer, you're probably working cross-functionally across many different disciplines, whether it be like business and strategy functions, customer management, product management, and of course, engineers. And you can imagine that each of these different departments or functions may have different context about a project or may just simply care about different types of information. And not everyone speaks design. They may not have the design vocabulary. So I think it's on the designer to help the team, as you're working with them, flow between utility, conversations about that, to usability, depending on what is needed. So for example, you're in a meeting with a bunch of different disciplines, and when you're talking about business strategy functions and product management, they may care more about the utility of a feature or a new product. They're just pretty much trying to figure out, like, is this worth doing? Is someone going to care? And obviously, customer managers and engineers, they may be better to talk to about the usability piece. So if we were to build it, how would we do it? Is it going to work? Is this the best way to do it? So number 3 is more of a general one. It's not uncommon for product companies and product teams to be compelled and incentivized to create something new over fixing something that already exists. It's a natural current of business. It's not anything unique to one business over another. So there's no really reason to fight it, but I think there's a way to work with it. So by making the distinction between utility and usability extremely clear, I think what it does is it creates this guideline for teams to follow when they're trying to prioritize their work or trying to incorporate both elements into development. It creates a natural scale, if you will, and it gives the agency over to the teams to be able to wrestle with that and work through that. So it may seem like I have it all figured out, but honestly, all of this has been coming together for me fairly recently. But I've been putting it to the test in my day-to-day work, and it's proving to be very effective. And it's making this also important part of my job a little bit easier and a lot more productive. And I think it's going to help you too. So think about it. I'd love for you to try it out. And if it's working for you, I want to hear about it. If it's not working for you, I want to hear about that too. I'll see you guys next time.